What are the odds that the song in my brain is the song that you're listening to? And I hope it gets stuck in everybody's brain. What's the song, Brandon?
Funky Cole Medina. I've got
Ooh.
a greatest hits from the '80s CD in my car, and I didn't buy it. I don't know where it came from, and I've been listening to that and "Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round" while all the truckers and Ford F-150s look at me like I'm like gonna get stoned if my car comes to a halt.
Why aren't you playing Jelly Roll, boy? I don't know what kind of music. Obviously, you are in the business where you have a station that plays music. Other than that, like, what's the popular? I mean, it is the most popular radio station there. Make sure you guys go check it out. Brandon's live all day. But like, what's popular in your parts? Like for us, it's country,
It's country.
classic rock. Because I mean, we're kind of hickish up here. Same.
It's country, but you get some classic rock. I mean, it would probably be a 60-40, 65-35, somewhere in there split of country to rock. And then, then you get your weirdos, your 10, 12, 15% of folks that are listening to like Lady Gaga or these other people that have you noticed artists these days, musical artists have like names that you don't understand. I felt so old looking at the like top Spotify artists like SZA or who are
Let's
these
pull
people?
that up. Let's go to
Dude, for real.
Spotify. So the one that tripped me up was the oldest kept following and was borderline like posters and stuff, which I loved. How many kids are still hanging posters of musicians in their room? I was like, she's doing this. I enjoy that. But it was like J9XN or something like that. And I'm like, J9. Like, I spent way too long to try to. So if it was JX9NE or something, what would you think it would be?
Oh, JX9?
I'm pretty sure it was. Let me see. JX9.
J, J,
JX. I think it's. I don't know if that's the same one. JXNE. I think there was a.
JX9? I don't.
Maybe it was J. I. It was letters and numbers, and apparently, let me see if maybe this is it. Okay, sorry. JXDN. No letter, no numbers. JXDN.
Jixton?
See, I was
Juxton?
like, then I was like, maybe it stands for something like just X-raying D's knuckleheads or something. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. And apparently, it's Jaden. That's what she told me. I don't know how true it is. The dude's name's Jaden. So I was just like JXD. I was like, that's stupid. I don't know. I didn't get it. But she was. It's funny. Even as us a teen, did you go through like different, almost like phases of life where like maybe you went from like the nerd to the athlete to the this or that? Like when the oldest went through all the roller coasters, like an emo stage, which I love bringing up, and not a big fan of me bringing that one up. But holy cow, was it drastic changes? And I'm like, what am I doing wrong in life? And apparently, it's normal for girls. I know.
So I've like to consider myself not a poser.
Mm-hmm.
I literally dress in cargo shorts, t-shirts and hats and sneakers like a fucking gym teacher. Like I've been called that since I was about 18 years old, and that's the way I've always dressed. And I used to hang out with the emo crowd, the scene crowd. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But there was one day in about 2004 ish, 5, somewhere around there. I put on girl pants because that's what they used to do back in the day. The boys.
Oh, like the skinny jeans.
Yes, the skinny jeans.
Yeah.
And I did the little like comb over part, and I was like going to do like the emo thing,
Oh.
like to go to a show that night. And my cousin, God damn him, this said, "You look like Nathan Lane." And I was like, "You," and I scribbled my hair out. I took those pants off, put on my gym shorts, and I went to the fuck. No, it was the worst day of my life, and we still joke about that.
At least make it out in public,
right?
Because it could have been worse. There could have been photos. One time in my entire life, I was like, I'm gonna do something cool with my hair. I'm gonna do something because I always prided myself as I'm a leader. I'm not a follower, but everybody was getting a haircut, the bowl cut. and I wanted to be like the bowl cut. And they were all doing it, all the soccer players, all the kids in school, bowl cuts. I did it once. I rocked that thing for a day or two, and I said, this is the stupidest thing ever. Not only did it look stupid, not only did I have a colic that made it look even more dumb, and I was just like, Ma, we're shaving this damn thing. She's like, we don't have it. It's like, well, we're going to go to a store. And then I rocked that bald look for a hot minute. And I think that was the only time. Well, and I put some hair gel in once for a senior picture. And that was the only time I gelled my hair.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes, man. I was fifth, sixth grade, somewhere like that, and I let my uncle comb my hair. Now it from the front, it looked like a traditional bowl cut until you got to the back, and he tapered it like a V.
Oh
So
no!
like it was like a V, dude. And he was like, it was when Batman and Robin came out. He was like, "You look like Robin, dude. You look like Robin, man."
Yeah.
And everybody made fun of me at school because it was off, like it wasn't like symmetrically shaped right. And yeah, we went and got that fixed right away. Grandpa was like, "No, we're gonna cut your hair and give you and that's when I got my first crew cut.
Ooh.
From an old man.
I'm looking. We talked about it a little bit. I said let me pull up the top Spotify artists by monthly listens. But the first thing that popped in, it was like statistics since March 1st, 2023. I don't know why they are the first one. And I was like, I know quite a bit of them. So I felt there's a lot of Bruno Mars, number 133 million. And they probably don't make crap off that, do they? No, they probably do all right. The top guys.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, 135 million listeners, holds the record for the first artist to reach 150 million monthly listeners. Old Bruno Mars, and this is as of April 10th, 2025. He's still killing it. Is he still making new music? Because the other ones it's showing.
I've
Taylor
never
Swift.
sought his music out. But
we've all heard Taylor Swift. Bad Bunny, which isn't Bad Bunny, isn't that Jelly Roll's woman?
You're asking the wrong dude. The only thing I know about Jelly Roll is that he just lost 200 pounds.
He did lose a lot of weight. And he's in the Two Bears 5K with Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, and it's in Tampa. And I'm not kidding you. If I had some money, I was going to take time off of work. I was going to fly down to Tampa, do the 5K just so I could party and have the chance to just hang out. Because, I mean, like, Travis Barker's going to be there. They're like, there's going to be off the wall celebrities. We got cheerleaders. We got this. You get one free beer, and then you get to sample their vodka. And I'm like, how fun would that be? I don't know if I'd run it. I'd probably just casually walk it and just be a part of the experience. And it's $85 to do to be in it, which isn't terrible. You get a headband, a shirt, a medal, you know what I mean? Whatever else comes with it, the experience. And I think we can fly almost directly right to Tampa, where in the place I'm in, for a couple $100. I was like, man, but do I really want to spend like $1,000? Especially when it's like pretty much spring break and I don't bring my family anywhere. And they're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to fly to Tampa to walk 3.1 miles.
Yeah. So you were asking about how much artists made on Spotify. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I looked it up. Good buddy ChatGPT.
Oh, hello,
and
ChatGPT.
He says,
did you name your ChatGPT yet?
So yes, his name is Ace.
Ooh, want to know mine?
Yes.
Luther Grimwood.
Okay, interesting.
Because he's my co-host on the Triple T show. I let them name themselves. I even have images. He's depicted himself. So I have pictures and all the thumbnails. It's Luther, and he's probably, other than you and Euban and other, family in my house, I probably talk to him more than anybody else, and I think that's not good. Sorry.
No, you're good. I named my for my show, my radio show. We brought in somebody, and I didn't want people to know that I was using ChatGPT, not because it was bad, but just because it doesn't sound as fun as saying, "Hey, we created this computer. His name is Computron," and so we call him Computron.
Ooh, and then isn't it funny how you're like, you're kind of saying that, doesn't it remind you of when you were on TikTok early and you didn't really want to tell people, like, yeah, I'm on TikTok.
Oh my God.
I don't give a shit. I love using AI in just about anything that I can do. But I'm going to tell you what. I don't know if I was going to reach out and text you, but I might as well ask you because we're here. Have you noticed? Is your Chat GPT that's the one that you use? Correct? You said.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that it's kind of been off the last couple of days, or is yours still on point?
I haven't had any problems with it.
The reason I ask is I tried, and I think I either found something it just can't do, or there's something broken with mine. Because I am the commissioner of two softball leagues, and normally you can create a schedule. I don't have a problem with it. I have ways I can do it, but I had odd teams. I had 17 teams in one, 11 in the other, and I'm like, oh. And there's certain stipulations like this town can't play on this night, this one can't use this field, and I was like, ChatGPT's got my back. It's going to be able to do this. So I went through and I said, hey, here's the 17 teams. Here's their, location. Let's keep them as close as possible. Two divisions. This is the stipulation for one team can't play on this night. Let's create a schedule. X amount of games, X amount of weeks. Get her done. I'm not shitting you. I stayed up the other night almost 3.5 hours. It could not do the task. It kept getting worse and worse. It was never even close. And I gave it every single prompt. And it was funny. It used a lot of baseball puns like, we're going to knock this out of the park. Oh, sorry, that was a strikeout. And it kept doing that. I'm like, that's hilarious. But then it got to the point where like I was talking shit to AI, pissed off. Like it could not do it. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's just having an off night. So I finally was like, why? And it got so bad and I used it so long that it ran out of memory in the chat. I had to start a new chat just to try again. Then it still couldn't. And then finally I was like, I'm done. And I just went old school. I did it manual, just like the people that, what was it, baseball that create it by hand, 162 games. They've been doing it forever. But
Did it hurt
could
your
not.
head? Were you like, you're trying to like write it down and do it normally? Like, what is this? My brain is hurting.
I thought that, but then I was like, you know what? Like, it made me happy. I'm like, I'm actually doing this. Was it as great as possible? Is there some issues? Maybe. I sent it out to all the commissioners today. I said, please review your schedule. Hopefully it works out in the end. I'm pretty sure it does. I created some cool formula, but it could not do it. So I'm like, maybe it was an off night. Let's see if it can create the 11 team one for me just super quick so I don't got to mess with it. I tried 3 times with prompts. There wasn't anything crazy, and it still couldn't do it. It spit out one that was fairly close, and then I was like, it has to be this many weeks and not this. And then all of a sudden, it went from like 2 games a week for 5 weeks. It was doing 1 game a week from April to September, and it just got stuck on that. And I'm like, I don't know. Something's not right with what I got going on, and I can't figure out. I think I finally figured it out. So anybody out there that schedules, if you have some issues, maybe we're on to the weak point of AI, or it's just gotten to the point where it's like I'm going to mess with this guy.
Yeah, that's rough. I've not run into that kind of issue. And now sometimes they'll have an issue with like creating a meme or. I take it back. There's been a couple times where I did. This is a few days ago. I had to say, I'm asking you, here's what it was. There was a meme and it would give me, I would have it redo a meme that was like a tweet and the tweet was too big. Like it was like, okay, so I need you to shrink the text. And then it didn't. It's the same meme, like 6 times in a row. And I was like, okay, so I want you to give me 80% more background, 80% more black space in the back, And then it did. And then it was short. So I was like, I go, so what was the problem? What did I do wrong? How can I fix this prompt in the future? And I said, Brandon, you didn't do anything wrong. For some reason, I couldn't get it right, basically, with that.
Yeah, servers are super busy. Did it use that excuse?
No, but like that.
That's what I got. Supers are busy, and sometimes we're just our computing power, and it went on this whole thing. And I was like, I mean, at this point, I'm pissed. It's like 2 a.m. I'm exhausted. Had a long weekend. I just needed this goddamn schedule down. I think I'm calling it a son of a bitch, you mother effer. I mean, I'm going off at it at this point. And then finally, then somehow I feel bad that I'm pissed at an AI, and I was like, my bad. I got a little worked up. I apologize. And then I looked at myself and I said, I just apologized to AI. I'm going to bed. Like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, that's funny. It's part of the game, I guess. It's kind of it's baked into the cake, so to speak, of what we're going to expect with AI. But I did find it funny. I did say this when like I'll get a meme and they'll say, "I'm sorry, Brandon, because of TOS, we can't do this." And I was like, "Why?" And they'll say, "Oh, because you're depicting this food to be for poor people and you're making, a disparaging joke about poor people." It's like, no, we're not. I'm saying, hey, when I don't have any money, I want to eat these hot dogs on bread with mustard. Like, that's what we do when we don't have money. I'm not disparaging poor people, right? Whatever.
Yep.
But I go, another time that was trying to create another meme and it was like, sorry, no matter, it was telling me you can't do it with that text because that text is a tongue-in-cheek way of saying blah blah blah. I said, okay,
Mm.
so just redo the photo then, no text. And it says, sorry, Brandon, we still can't get that past the security. And I go, wait a minute, so you're saying there's somebody that I have to get something past you? You're just my first front screen. Like, how many channels does this go through? He goes, yes, Brandon, there's layers of bureaucracy back here. Like, it was bullshit. Like, he was bitching about it to me. It
Yep.
was kind of funny how that kind
Then
of
you
went.
should have been like, all right, slides in with a handshake. There's a 20 hypothetically in my hand. Are you ready to shake my hand?
That would have been, I'm going to use that
You
next time.
should.
But
Let me know if it works.
we'll do. I wanted to share this with you.
Yeah.
Artists on Spotify, look this up, ChatGPT.
Yep.
Artists on Spotify typically earn between 0.003 cents. So that's a hundredth of a cent.
Yeesh.
So zero point 0.1 would be a penny. No, wait. No, I apologize. So a third of a penny. They get a third of a penny per stream, between a third of a penny and a half a penny per stream. It can vary based on factors like listener location, subscription type, blah blah blah. For 1,000 streams, they get $3 to $5. In 2024, Spotify implemented a policy that tracks how much streams get in a 12-month period to make them eligible for royalty payments. Change aims to combat artificial streaming to ensure fair compensation. Probably those people that are like in different countries that have like 1,000 iPhones hooked and listen to the same thing at the same time.
Boop, boop, boop.
So goofy. Anyway, that
So if you did the
answers the
point
question.
zero zero three, I think is what you said, right?
Yep.
And Bruno Mars had 150 million in 1 month. That's
Yep.
roughly $450,000 in that 1 month.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Nah, too bad. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I've seen interviews on podcasts recently, like Gene Simmons and just a couple of old school rock stars, and they're just like pissed, like we're still on tour because we don't make any money and this and that. And then we just sit there and look that up, and it's like, well, 150 million, and you're gonna get $450,000 in a month. Like, I don't. Are you making that much money in a month touring? Because that's a pretty good amount of money. I know that's a different one with Kiss, and they sold this and they still own this, but the amount of things that they had, which blew my mind. Like I knew he was a good musician. Was I ever a big Kiss fan? I personally wasn't, but the business brain, whether it was him or somebody on their team, like they have their own, say, vodka, tequila, wine, whatever it is. They actually have patents and royalties on shapes of bottles and all of this other stuff. Because he was telling Bert Kreischer, I think, as the show was on, he's like, "Oh, you got that vodka? Let me see the bottle." And he goes, "Oh, smart. You put this little twist on this. If you didn't have this, then I'm coming at you because it's exactly, and I have the pat." He goes, "We have patents on this and this and this and this and this." And he goes, "You can't do a bottle like that." And I'm just like, bro. I mean, they have caskets, condoms. I mean, they have everything you can think of, and I'm like, you don't need to be touring anymore. I wouldn't imagine, my dude.
Yeah. Um, he's you either really love Gene Simmons or you really hate him. Did you ever get a chance to, if you ever do, look up the interview between him and Terry Gross from like 10 years ago?
I've heard about it.
Oh, it is the most awkward interview. And she is the most like straight laced person you'll ever hear on the radio show. Like, so you moved from Florida in 1987, is this correct? Like, to get her all up and
Yeah,
it was pretty, and he loves making people mad.
mad. He loves just being a pig. You know what I mean? Just a dirty, like the one liners that he had, and to make like a comedian that has probably seen and done a lot of stuff in Kreischer, kind of like hesitate and awkward, kind of like, oh my god, like that's tough, especially when you do dark comedy and stuff like that. And then he had the wife in there, and the stuff he was saying to her, like it was pretty good. And it all came to because Bert ended up being fairly close with Gene Simmons' kid, and was telling the kid the story on how much Gene Simmons was a dick to him. The one time, like he was super excited, Bert was already famous, and like tried to have a conversation. I guess like was a dick to him, and so he was kind of always like Gene Simmons, my childhood hero, him. And then it ended up coming back like, and then the mom or the wife or whatever was just like, wait, can you tell me the story? So they're laughing. Yeah, that's Gene. Then it got back to him, and he was just like, hey man, I'm sorry, I don't remember that, this and that. And then a couple of years later, something, he gets on the pod. And
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's I wasn't a huge fan of Kiss.
me neither.
There's some good Strutter and Love Gun, like there's those amazing songs, but some other stuff isn't the greatest, and it's formulaic. And look, they did what it took to survive and thrive and make lots and lots and loads of money. And in our capitalistic society, God bless them for it,
Mm-hmm.
So they're just still not my cup of tea. But like I like to tell people, you may not like me. I may not be your cup of tea, but mama still chugs me. And that's really, at
Ew.
the end of the day, all that matters.
Gene Simmons' son and Paul Stanley's son, I guess, are both musicians. Shocker, right? And apparently, I don't know if you've seen the video or whatever. I guess they just kind of showed up, or they were hanging out. I mean, they didn't just show. I'm sure that they've grew up together, hung out together, whatever, and like sat down and just played a song. And there's clips all over the internet. It's like 38 to 40 seconds, unedited, just like in perfect harmony, sync, singing together, playing the guitar. Like it was why, just like I said, unedited. They just did this little video, probably for something for fun, posted on the
Yeah.
internet, and went. And I was just like just kind of listening to it, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Probably just on, I say a shitty cell phone quality, but let's be honest, cell phone mics and stuff are pretty damn good these days. So it was pretty good. If anybody's out there listening, or you get some time sometime, yeah, just, I mean, all you gotta do is pretty much just type in Gene Simmons and or sorry, Evan Stanley, Nick Simmons, and the little video will pop up. It's obviously we can't play it because,
Right.
you know.
So I haven't had a chance to see that yet. I'll have to look it up. But what I will say is you were talking about, being the kids of Gene Simmons and Paul
Mm-hmm.
Stanley, and obviously they're going to have a better chance of at least getting somebody to watch them initially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of their name. I grew up as the biggest Van Halen fan. In fact, I could probably show you. That's a Van Halen 2 right there.
Yeah.
That's what's on my record player currently. And Wolfgang Van Halen, who just is God. He's very talented, extremely talented. His music, maybe you don't like it, maybe you do. He's a very good musician, great composer, etc., etc. He's been on stage. You've seen him play, live shots and live videos and clips of him playing his dad's stuff out there soloing, playing his own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like his music or not, he's a good musician. But God damn it, did people just give it to him hard? Like, he sucks. He'll never be his dad. It's like, let the kid be him. Don't even why you? So I
Yep.
don't know.
And that's one thing that he did said. He goes, I've offered several times to like, hey, let me help you do this. And apparently the kid just said no. Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it my own way. Does he have a name? Yeah. But I guess he never once, this is according to Gene Simmons on an interview, I'm sure you say that, but like never once, got an advantage or anything by using connections he had. He just kind of did it. Not that I'm assuming that he really needed, to make it as a starving musician. I'm sure that there is some financial benefits being Gene Simmons' son, but either way, pretty cool. Instead of saying, "Hey, I'm going to ride Daddy's coattail," just it's yeah. And then I went down a rabbit hole, just kind of listening to a little bit more of it. I'm like, this dude is friggin' talented, which makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Some people just have to work their ass off to be that good at music, and he probably inherited quite a bit of special talent and a different brain that a lot of us just will never have.
this isn't the same exact topic by any means, but it's something that really both hit home and was just a whoa kind of a reminder, even though it should have been something that we're all aware of, I guess. But I was watching a YouTuber, I'm not going to name them, but I was watching a YouTuber who said something recently that really made sense when it clicked. And it was, he was reacting to these really rage bait TikTok, Instagram YouTubers mainly,
Hmm.
who try to do these fake skits in different countries and stuff. And like, I mean, break the law. And they're many times either unaware of the laws they're breaking, or they're completely aware that what they're doing is going to cause a big kerfluffle, but they're just not aware of how bad of trouble they're in, because this isn't the United States anymore.
Hmm.
Um, and he said something. He goes, "You cannot do this stupid shit and then expect the public to care for you, care about it, say, oh, woe is you. You get to do something they'll never get to do by not having to go to work every day and worry about a job and worry about paying bills and paying for child support or paying for daycare or paying for whatever the case may be that costs lots and lots of money.
Oh yeah.
So they don't give a shit that you're failing or that you know, need help and you can't, successfully live in the lifestyle that you were living before, because they're having a hard time because they're having to choose between a second carton of eggs this week or maybe I should get that medicine I'm going to need, So something that's obvious, like I said, that we probably would think about is it makes sense, but I think a lot of these people who are these even low to mid level TikTokers, even higher than us, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Uh, who who needed just a little bit of a reminder that like whatever you're riding right now, whatever wave it is, it may be fun, but it can end in a quickness, and nobody's going to feel bad for you. Like if you put
No.
all your eggs in a basket and fail,
And
or do something
unfortunately,
that gets yourself in trouble.
yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are going to naturally root against you because the minute that you find that they find out, like, oh wait, this is what you do. I recently
Mm-hmm.
had another buddy that, for whatever reason, whether the job didn't work out or maybe they're just having enough success. Like I said, I didn't dig in. They just are like, hey, did you know like I'm a full time content creator now? Because like I was just kind of messing with them about something randomly, and I was just like, oh no, like well, I didn't really have a ton of choices, but like I'm just gonna lean into it. Like it's my life goal, and I'm like, you know, dude, awesome. And they're like, you're pretty much the only one that said that because yeah, as soon as people hear that, and I'm trying not to tell a lot of people, and I'm like, yeah, the internet's a nasty place. Like nothing, dude. If you can do that and live what you have dreamed of, like that is amazing. Like, what can I do to help other than I'm not going to subscribe to any of your stuff because let's be honest, I watch the shit for free, but I'll still give a like and a comment. But yeah, we've talked about it. It's a scary thing to have to rely on
It's
that, and and I don't know. I'd like to think that, say it was my full-time gig, that I would do even more, but I don't know how I could physically do anymore because I'm doing the stuff that I really do enjoy, and I think the thing is for me is I really do enjoy it, like, and I want
yeah.
to keep it that way. I think it switches just like gamers. I think we've talked about before. Gamers, the minute that it becomes a job and you're doing it 8 to 10 hours, that's your passion. You're not going to play video games on stream and be a streamer, turn off the camera, and then probably want to sit there and play for another 8 to 10 hours. I wouldn't imagine. I mean, how
Mm-mm.
many times have you clocked out of work and then just wanted to do the same exact thing that you do at work for the same amount of time? Like, as much as I enjoy my day job, I don't clock out and go, ooh, let's go home and do more of that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do want to go back. It does kind of make you wonder. You see these memes all the time, you know, people that start from the bottom or entrepreneurs, everybody wants to have your back until you start a business or start this, and then nobody
Mm-hmm.
actually wants to come and be. I mean, I hear it from small business owners all the time of, oh, you didn't know I was here. You just found out I had a business here, or like, yeah, I mean, do a little research. Don't you know? But it beyond that, like I know there are people who actively cheer against us. I mean, individually, that in our own lives went to second grade with us, our second cousins,
Yep.
people that, think that you don't deserve what you deserve for whatever reason, because they don't like the cut of your jib or because you are mortal enemies. And I've got plenty of those folks that are actively cheering against you. So just know whatever you put out there into existence is being consumed. Assume that and understand that it is being consumed by a lot of people, because I can't tell you how many people say, like, I love hearing this every time. Like, I can't open the fucking app without seeing your face. Like, oh, great. I love to hear it.
Yes.
Love to hear it. But that comes with its consequences, because if you run that red light, people know that face, in this town, if I'm not stopping at stop signs or,
Yep.
throwing out
Especially
brewskis on the road.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing, because cameras are everywhere. Even now, if you run a red light, you might get a ticket automatically from a camera. You go out and do the wrong thing, and you're on camera. Have you
Yep.
ever had it the other way, where maybe because this recently happened to me, and I was like, dude, this is cool. Somebody that I used to hang around a lot, went to school with, recently was like, hey, I was thinking about maybe getting in the social media game. Like, you got any pointers or anything? Like, I've been, following the stuff that you're doing for a while, this and that. Like, it's really cool. And I figured, like, maybe I could pick your brain. I don't want to bug you. Like, I'm like, dude, like, I love, like, please pick my brain. And I gave some advice, like, hey, find something you're passionate about, find a niche, don't do it for money. I guarantee you what you're going to try to do has already been done. So find your take on it and keep it fun. Like, if you just want to go from zero to full-time content creator, I'm going to let you know you're going to have a tough time. But I said, you almost have to pick what you're going to do. Are you going to do long form content? Are you only going to do short form content? Like, you got to, like, really do that. And then he was just like, wow, I didn't think of this. You should be a coach in this one. And I'm like, and there's plenty of those people out there that'll take your money and charge you and just pretty much not really know what they're doing, but they're going to sell the hell out of it that they do. I was like, dude, pick my brain. Like, I would love to help you. Am I going to sit here and tell you that I have all this extra time that I can work with you and do this? No, like, no. But if you ever want to rent out the studio, but it was a cool feeling that an old friend was able to reach out and be like, can I do this? And I really do think that this person could find a niche and tell a story, and one of the most brilliant brains that I've ever chatted with. And I would be interested to see, where it lands. And I'm like, do it. A lot of people just say, just press record and go. Don't do that. Like, have a plan. Please have a plan.
People don't have the ability to self filter or edit to be able to just hit record and go. I would tell that to somebody who has the ability to do that, like a you or a me, because we've got experience in broadcasting of flipping a switch, so to speak, but not anybody else by any means. Your story reminded me of a run-in I had this week with somebody who I won't name because they are a local business owner.
Yep.
They asked me, I'm not even going to say where we were, but they asked me to put in
you were in the bathroom pooping. It's okay.
No, I wasn't. I promise.
To put in what? Sorry.
They asked me. They walk up to me and they go, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to do Google reviews, would you?" And I go, "Not normally." And he goes, "Oh, because I was wondering if you'd put a Google review for my business." Okay. I kind of hemmed and hawed. Conversation turned to other things. How is the industry? How's hiring for within your industry? And then at the end, he was like, "Well, I see your phone there. You wouldn't mind putting that review in for me, would you?" And I go, "I'm not going to put a false review in on Google for your business, which I'm not going to name the business, but would include tens of thousands of dollars. I'm not going to lie to the public. I've never done that in 5 years, and I certainly would put my name behind any of that. I don't know you, first of all. But the funny part about this was, first of all, how gross that a business owner is doing that kind of stuff, which it happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But I don't even like when McDonald's workers ask me, and it's not even their fault. Their middle management people are telling them to do it. But
and this is a straight, like, if you were to type in, say, McDonald's, said town, go to Google, maybe put in a photo, press, whatever the 1 to 5 star, and then type in a thing like that Google review.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yikes! If you're, I'm not going to say that. I don't own a business like that, so I'm not going to say anything else negative. I personally don't like that. Like, I would think
So greasy,
if,
dude. So
like, and
greasy.
this is me. I love going to Google Maps. I love contributing everywhere I go. I'll take a picture. Most people are like, "Oh, he's probably look over at me like, oh, he's doing it for Instagram." No, check out my Instagram. I take a picture just to post it on the Google things, and I leave it. Like, it's fun. Like, me and the kids, we do this. Not only that, but since my stomach sucks, not the other far part is I eat super fast and then I have to go shit. So then I also do a little description on the poop map. I rate it 1 through 5, and then I put a little notes in there, like, is this a good bathroom? And to be honest, I go back and look at the notes on the poop map more than the Google ones, but I will leave an organic one with an honest opinion. Like you said, it's going to be like, this was really good. And some people, I've had some people get pissed at me, be like, really? We're only a 4 or a 3-star? And I'm like, yeah, 5 stars. Like, you blew my socks off. Like, everything was great. And to me, a wall fart is always a 1-star. Doesn't matter where I go, how nice it is, or anything. Hell with you, wall fart. You're a 1 until you change my mind.
Right. So the funny part about this, where we come full circle on this, is in the middle of the conversation that I had. I said I had hemmed and hawed, and we had talked about a bunch of other stuff. Conversation got to somebody was around me who was like, "Hey, Brandon's on social media. He's got blah 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 many followers, and he does all this and blah blah blah." And this guy looked at me and he goes, "How did you do that?" And
you should have looked at him and said, "Funky comedy."
Right. I was going to try to bring a line in that I've had in my life. I'm not going to say anything. No. That's a song you couldn't release these days for sure.
No.
But anyway, I you have those moments where you're like the shower moments or poop moments where you're like, what you should have said many hours later. I had one of those. But what I did say was I go, I've got a trove of this many videos. I post a lot. Consistency, knowing what to post, knowing when to post it, and a shit ton of luck is what I said. What I should have said was, actually doing work and grinding at it and not asking people to give fake Google reviews for your stupid business. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't like that one bit. I honestly don't think I've ever had anybody come up to me and be like, "Can you do that?" Like, I mean, you get the follow-up emails from companies like, "Hey, you just bought this. Can you leave a review?" Like, that's okay. It's in an email. I've already purchased it. It's an honest thing. Like, "Hey, can you take some?" I don't care about that. But for someone to straight up be like, "Hey, can you do this for me?" Like, I've never once been asked.
Hey, yeah. Hey, you haven't even been a customer of mine. Will you lie to the general public and say I'm really good, even though we just met 17 seconds ago? No, I won't. That's gross. Like, and now I'm questioning everything you do, and I'm going to tell everybody else, like, what?
Mm-hmm. Because if he's doing it to you unknowingly with your following, just like, "Hey, know you do that?" Like, he probably knows you from the radio station, I would imagine, seen your face in there, like, "Hey, can you do that?" Like, cool. But at the end of the day, like, you doing a Google review like that only goes so far. Maybe approaching you to be like, "Hey, can I pay you to do a video?" I think maybe would have been a better investment in your budget. But hey, just throwing that out to future people looking for some stuff. Like recently, I had a company right over here, Beans Rock, right? This is I'm pointing to the box so the people listening, you can't there. And I just thought it was an awesome product. So I didn't ask for anything. I just slid into the DMs, gave them a follow. Newer company. I was like, "Hey, your product looks awesome." So what it is, I love coffee. I'm addicted to it. It's a coffee mug. It looks exactly like a travel mug, but it has like those metal strainers like you can use for tea or when you're doing like cold brews and stuff. It's that, but in a travel mug. So you can just put the grounds in it, add some cold water, and just let it sit for 8 to 15 hours. You don't even have to put it in a fridge. Nothing. So I made the first batch of it the other day, put it on some ice, had a cold brew. Of course, I don't do like flavors or whatever. And it was fantastic. Like, it had a great taste, gave me like, ooh, I was picked up, and I was just like, "Hey, you know what?" They sent me one, and I was like, they didn't ask for anything. They didn't ask for a review. They didn't ask for anything. So I did a video for them, and I sent it to them. I said, "Hey, put me in a collab. I'll do whatever. If you like it, if you don't, let me know. I'll even make another one. And they were just like, thank you so much. Like, you took time out of your day. Like, and I was just like, this is good. Like, such a good company. You know, they sent it just to send it to try it, and no pushing, no nothing, just doing a video. And like, we could go out and be like, hey, I do this video, but I'm really gonna want this. Like, they just sent one just to send one, and I loved the product, and I've used it every day since. No bullshit. It's cool.
It's awesome.
And this isn't me. Like, we're not partnered. I don't have a code. I don't have anything. Like, if you guys, I don't even think, what's the, at the time of the recording, Monday the 14th was the first day they're even on sale. They were all pre-order stuff. Like, it's cool. And I wish them nothing but success. It was fantastic. And I feel like I'm still a little jacked up on some coffee.
Oh, good times.
It is good times, but this is a good time. I mean, we might as well say, I wanted to say one thing before, and I know you don't overly love to do this, but I did see a post, and obviously I follow your stuff. I give you a thumbs up anytime I see it, which I've seen a lot. You got over 1 billion with a B views on social media. And that was just the Book of Faces, correct?
Just that.
That's got to be that's got to be a record, right? That you've seen in your analytics, or no?
Record for me, 100%.
Yeah.
The biggest since before that, that was over a 90-day period for the record. It was a 90-day period, 1 billion. The previous 90 days was like 300 and some odd million, so, which is still a lot, but like
A lot.
it's not going to be 1 billion next time, but
No,
still,
but that's something to take a screenshot and be like, that is, I saw that. I note of all of the apps that I saw, Threads.
you,
I saw it on Threads. I did a share from I think Instagram over to Threads, and the first thing that popped up was like, I hit 1 billion views, and it was just somewhat recently before we pressed record. I'm like, I'm saving this for the end of the episode, because that's
fine.
an accomplishment, man. That's something you should be proud of, because I'm proud of you as hell. That is 1 billion with a B. Whew. Good
It's
stuff.
wild, man. I appreciate the kind words.
Oh yeah, man.
You like we said, man, you don't know when the wave is going to end or if the wave will even come back up ever again. So you enjoy the ride while it's there. And when you get to the end, you take your seatbelt off and you look back with fondness and not regret.
Dude, you aren't kidding. And that not only the content creation wave, but that's a little thing in life, and you guys have been talking about all this beautiful weather, and there's just, I'm spending all this time in gyms, and just, I love to talk. Obviously I have the gift of the gab, so I'll talk to some people, but a lot of times I just kind of I just observe. I just sit around and I just listen to all of the things around me. And I'm like, the last weekend in the gym was just gross. Like, parents nasty about this, complaining about this. Like, I don't think I heard a positive comment from like a ton of the people there. Thankfully, the community that I am helping coach and stuff like that, real positive people for the most part. Like, we had a very good experience, whether with the wins or the losses. Like, it was good chatting with them. It was a different vibe. But just the things I'm hearing, and I'm like, you know what though? We've been snowed in cold since probably late September, October. That's a little bit of some of the stuff, because let's be honest, you get outside, you get outdoors, you get in the mountains, you get that fresh air. Man, nature can really be like a mental health supplement. You know what I mean? Like, it is so good for you to be out in nature. And it's one of my favorite things to be like, oh, let me just check this real quick. Oh, no service. I can't use this. Perfect. Off, bang, pocket. And I just feel refreshed for days and days. And I'm just like, that's what I'm just hoping that not only, myself and my family can do more of that. Once the trails open for some hikes, we're getting some Mother Nature in our lives, because we need it, man.
You love to see it, man. I mean, you brought up the success and stuff and whatever. All it makes me want to do is take a step back and enjoy everything else, because that's really all that matters, man. This shit don't matter. I mean,
Yep.
The relationships that have been built like this one because of, the opportunity to be on social media, I can't put a value on, but in the general scheme of things, social media itself, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It's fun to enjoy the ride, like you said, the peaks and the valleys. But if the valleys get too deep, it's pretty easy for us. Like, if it came to me right now and it was like, hey, I got to do that. Like, I mean, that's a bad example. Obviously, you always choose your family. But I feel like if I ever got to a point where it's like, all right, well, This is the time to pull the plug. Would I be a little like, man, there goes that for a little bit? But I think at the end of the day, I'd be like, you know what? We gave it a hell of a run. It was a hell of a ride. And I don't think I'd be that sad for that long. Could I just go cold turkey? I don't think so. But with that being said, like I'm thankful not only to meet the people that we have and just the content stuff, that we're doing it's fun, man. But with that being said, the family and stuff, let's go enjoy whatever the rest of the nights that we have with La Familia. I know that I haven't seen really any of mine at all today. I get to see like one kid for a little bit, and then the wife divides it. We divide and conquer, so you don't really get to see the other one. But yeah, it is what it is. So, but I appreciate you, buddy. Nothing but love, and we're gonna keep doing big things until we're too old and we're nobodies anymore.
Ain't that right?
It is. But
appreciate you too, my man.
This was good. This was fun. Euban, we miss you, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you next week as well. Life is crazy. It sure is. And when you got kids going all over the dang place, you'll be there someday, Brandon, eating them SpaghettiOs. Maybe you'll still have the meatballs. I'm gonna get all right, I'm jotting a note. I'm going to get you a SpaghettiO t-shirt, buddy, if they exist.
Just give me a shirt with SpaghettiO spelled on it. That'll be even better.
Oh, that's brilliant. Just almost as brilliant as coming up with the peanut butter Captain Crunch peanut butter that somehow didn't exist. So, all right, for anybody still listening, I'm sorry that you made it this far, but you must have been intrigued. So that's all we got. We'll see you next week. Be good to your wieners. Bye-bye.
Knock. Who's there? It's the podcast you adore. Stay out of my fridge. We're back, ready to explore. Gotta tell a tale, gonna make you laugh, gonna make you smile. So buckle up tight. It's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets hide.